Welcome to True Tall Tales, when reality is stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Sonny Boy, and welcome to a new episode. Now, usually we have a guest on the show sharing their story, but the reason why I started this podcast is a lot of weird shit happens to me all the time, and it's shit when it happens, but then it makes a great story afterwards that you can tell your friends and everyone. So that's why I wanted to start this podcast, to share the stories, but also hear other people's stories, and that's why I like to have a different guest on the show every Tuesday, and I thought every now and then I will share one of my true tall tales as well. Basically, this one, I always say cut the story short, but that never happens for me, but anyone that knows me in real life, but that's okay, the story needs to be told. So this story right now is about how a magpie ripped off my face when I was 14 years old. So cut the story short. Basically, when I was 14 years old, I lived in Bundaberg, which is in North Queensland, and I kind of lived like 15 kilometers out of town in the bush, kangaroos on my lawn, 2 cockatoos, rockin' Rambo, blue cattle dogs, kelpies, kind of like rural country life. Anyway, I got my first job when I was 14 and 9 months. And I always say that because any Australian knows as soon as they want to work straight away to make money, you have to be 14 and 9 months, unless that's changed. This was a while ago. And so I got my first job, and it was at Woolworths, and I was a checkout dick. And basically, my dad's kind of like old school, so he's one of those people like, well, back in my day, I had to walk 20 kilometers to go to school, so why should I drive and pick you up? Use the bike. Anyway, so we had a bike, lived 15 kilometers out of town, and I worked at this shopping center called Sugarland. And like I said, I was 14 and 9 months, so every time I had to finish work, I would actually have to ride my bike 15 kilometers to get home. Now, it doesn't sound like it's a long way, but that is, I think, for a younger kid. But like I said, it wasn't just like a normal road. I was riding on a highway, and a highway where it's kind of like such a highway where the limit's 120 kilometers, and that's kind of like fast, if you get what I mean. So I'm riding on this highway, and semi-trailer trucks are going past, and they're going past so fast that it like sucks me in. So every time I heard a semi-trailer truck coming towards me or behind me, I'd always go onto like the grass or the gravel because I didn't want to get sucked in, because that's how like fast they went past you, and it was like heaps scary. Anyway, during September and October, anyone in Australia knows it's magpie season. For our overseas listeners, magpie is like an Australian bird, black and white, and basically it swoops you or attacks you during this season, because that's when their babies are hatching out of the eggs, I guess. But so they're just protecting their babies. So it's just nature. They're doing their thing. They're not doing anything wrong. But so yeah, anyway, I knew when I was going down this road on the highway during magpie season, I'd be getting attacked by a magpie the whole way. And it used to be really embarrassing, because when I was on the road going home like this, cars are on this side of the road coming towards me. And as the cars got closer, I would always see people's like hands pointing like this and laughing, because they could see that I was getting attacked by a magpie for a highway that goes really straight and long for a long time. And anyone that's been attacked by a magpie, it's so scary. It sounds like above. You can see the shadow coming in towards you, and you basically ride your bike and you duck every time it swoops you, because it goes down, swoops, tries to peck your ears, or you've got your helmet on, it will peck your helmet, and they can be quite vicious. And it's scary, and you're also getting laughed at on the highway, so you just know for that next 3 to 5 kilometers, you're just going to be getting swooped by a magpie. And there's nothing you can do. There's all these, rules back in the day that you would get, like, permanent marker texter and draw eyes on it, because if you look at a magpie with your eyes, it doesn't attack you. But I feel like they've evolved, and they had a meeting, and they're all like, no, that's not real eyes. That's like permanent marker, writing it on the helmet, because that just didn't work anymore. And then people have the spikes like on their helmet as well. You always see kids with spikes on their helmet, so it can't go that far down, but they'll just swoop from underneath, man. They are evolved. They're like Bruce Lee doing Kung Fu Panda shit in the air. Like, anyone that's been attacked by a magpie know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, cut the story short, there goes my line. I was on the highway, and I was getting attacked by the magpie, and it was really aggressive, and I was like, fuck this shit. And I was ducking down, I'm yelling, I'm screaming, cars are coming towards me laughing, I've got my head down, and the magpie comes down, swoops me so hard that it smacks me in the right of my face. It smacks me here. My handlebars turn around like this. I fall off my bike on the highway, head first. I land on my face and I chip my tooth. I remember that. And it happened I think when you have like an accident, it happens so fast, but it also happens in slow motion. It's really weird. Anyway, I hit the ground, come off the bike. I was all grazed and I was bleeding all on my arms, and I just lay there and I was tangled up in the bike. Car went past and I could just feel this side of my face was completely numb. So numb that it was cold, I couldn't feel it, and all I could feel was just liquid just pouring out, and I'm like laying there on the highway wrapped up in my bike, and the Magpie's now fucked off, got its gold medal, and I'm like, shit, that's blood pouring out of my face. I can't move. Like, that's a lot of blood. It was going down my neck. I'm like, this is fucking hectic. And I was like, what do I do? Just don't move, and someone will see me on the side of the road and call an ambulance. Because I didn't want to move. You know when you hurt yourself and you think you broke a bone and you don't want to move because you think it's broken, so you just lay there and just pretend like you're actually not hurt because you're also embarrassed at the same time. It was kind of like that moment. Anyway, I laid there and more blood was coming, and it got colder and colder, and I was like, this is bad. I'm gonna have to, I probably got like a hole in my face, and I was ready for like my hand to go in. So I got the confidence to touch my face to see what was going on and how much blood it was. And I was bleeding all on my arm, so there was a lot of blood. But when I touched my face, that ripped off, that was numb, that I couldn't feel, I had my hand and I took it off. And do you know what it was on my face? A 30-cent Macca's cone ice cream that was on my face. So some motherfucker who was on the highway driving their car saw me getting attacked by a magpie for the 5 kilometers that I told you that happened, and said, and now eating their ice cream. They've obviously got McDonald's drive-through, probably stoned or something. And in the car, they've had a conversation and said, I dare you to pay your Macca's 30-cent cone, because that's how much I were back then, at that guy that's getting attacked by magpie. So not only was I getting attacked by magpie, I had someone drive past in their car, wind down the window, and peg their ice cream at me and hit me in the face. Now, I thought that was the magpie. The magpie was attacking me, but it was the ice cream and the magpie at the same time that hit me in the face that made me turn my handlebars. And I went head first and scraped myself, laying there thinking that my face got ripped off. But yeah, I got double dose. Boom, magpie, boom, 30-cent Macca's cone, hit me in the face, boom, stacked it head first, tangled in the bike, boom, scraped it, chipped my tooth as well. So yeah, I laid there. The car did not stop. They were probably like, shit, he's down, like he's going to call the police. But yeah, once I realized that I didn't rip my face off, I, bleeding arms and stuff, and I just, wiped all the ice cream. It was all stuck in. Well, I didn't have a beard back then. It was all sticky, and got back on the bike and continued to ride home. And I had like another 8 kilometers to go with just ice cream in my face, like bleeding, just like 43 degrees, really humid as well. And I was like, I fucking hate this shit. Anyway, that was my story of how I got attacked by a magpie and thought that my face got ripped off. But thank God it didn't. And thank God it wasn't as worse as it was. But the fact that went through my head, crazy. Anyway, that's my quick True Tall tale today, solo one. Please, if you want to be on the show with your story, write into True Tall Tales podcast at gmail.com, and we'll review it and get you on the show, or reach out on any of the socials. Thank you for listening to my True Tall tale today. It was nice to share it with you. I know I've got this silly hat on, but I just saw it, and it was on my hat rack. Got a lot of hats, and yeah, I just thought it was has flaps here. Looks cute. These are the hats that you wear in Australia when you're in primary school. Actually, yeah, because it covers your neck so you don't get sunburnt. It's really good for you, to be honest with you. You look silly, got a couple of flaps going on, the flap hat, but Anyway, it's just really comfortable. It's kind of like how people have a blankie like this for some reason on my head. Oh, look how high it is. I have a massive head, by the way. I was a cesarean. Anyway, trailing, ADHD going through the roof. Let you go. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Love doing this for you. And tune in every Tuesday to hear a different guest with their True Tall Tale. My name's Sonny Boy. You're listening to True Tall Tales. I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Adios, amigos.